Jai Baba. Minoo Kharas, Karachi, Pakistan. By the grace of love of our beloved Baba, an opportunity has been presented today by our dear Baba Luck brothers, Irwin and Edward, to speak a few words about our beloved Baba and my association with beloved Baba from Sunday 17th of January 1932 at Nasik until Friday the 31st of January 1969 at Madras, when beloved Baba dropped his physical body. It is indeed a very long period, but please do not be carried away by thinking that I have had deep association with beloved Baba throughout this long period of 39 years. At the same time, the association physically with Baba has been pretty deep. It is necessary for me to briefly inform you today that it was ever since my birth that the instinct was in me somehow or the other to meet God, whoever He is, wherever He is, in flesh, this very life. And I found from Kabir Wani, a book by the renowned perfect master of the recent past, Kabir Sahib, that God is also in the flesh. Hence, my search was intensified until on the memorable day of Sunday, January 17, 1932, at Circle Cinema on Bombay Agra Road at Nasik, I met physically Baba for the first time. The moment I met him, without his uttering one word or without his gesture, since at that moment he was in his silence, which he had started already a few years before on July 10th, 1925, his silence, which he started on July 10th, 1925, there was definitely no indication whatsoever that he is God in human form. And yet, the moment I saw him, I felt within me that I have at last seen God in human form, in flesh and blood, and my search for God in this life from that very moment stopped for good. Very soon we were face to face before each other, and I refused point blank to utter one word to him, and internally I spoke what I had to speak to him, looking straight into his eyes. Whenever what I spoke from within was objectionable or bad, he would make a very immediate show by making very frightful sounds, shaking his head to and fro. And when I would internally speak something good, immediately he would have a broad smile on his face would glow radiantly, he would continue to smile, nodded head. In short, it was obvious that every word that I was uttering from within, he was hearing. And be it known very clearly that the moment I finished, Baba started moving his finger on the board, alphabet board, and said these very words: I have heard you completely. It is since your birth that this instinct is there within you. Do not worry. Do as I say. Forget I. Every night go to sleep in thoughts of me. Minoo, you are connected with me since past many lives. I have to repay you the debt I owe you. Not only you love me, but I love you. I have to repay you the debt I owe you. Not only you love me, but I love you. Now, this was definitely something out of the ordinary. The one whom I took and I have taken until this very moment of my life as God in the flesh to tell me that he has to repay me a debt which he owes me, that not only I love him, but he loves me. And thus from that day till this moment, our physical connections, spiritual connections have continued by his grace of love. During those days in Nasik, everybody used to shout and yell, Sadguru Meher Baba Ki Jai. Neither Baba spoke one word about himself as the avatar, neither anybody else spoke his Jai as Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai, as we have experienced in later years in his life up to this very day. But from the very beginning, I have been telling all concerned, and more than once told him, Baba, what is this Sadguru? What is this avatar? You are nothing short of God Almighty, Parvardigar. And hence many of you must have known that even the resident Mandali, both men and women of beloved Baba, have, to our great satisfaction and happiness, cultivated the habit of greeting us whenever we meet them with Parvardigar Meher Baba Ki Jai instead of the usual Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. And now, not because of ego or anything of the kind, I'm sure you would love to hear a few more utterances of Baba in regard to me, because these utterances connect me with him in regard to the role inside the house, although the doors were closed. And the watchman says that along with that man, he was present and he saw the man sit beside me on my bed and caress me. And the chowkidar felt that that could be nobody else but God. Well, I can't tell you what made him to feel that, but he said that. And years later, years ago, when in teens, a schoolboy, I vividly remember a watchman, an aged, pious man, one day told me, Baba, God comes to see you in the night when you are asleep. Naturally, that baffled me, made me wonder as to what this old man was actually talking. But when I investigated years later, it has proved that the watchman had said that a holy figure, and as he described him and the dress, it was none other but beloved Baba, who he said came a few days in succession, almost at midnight time. One day told the watchman to drop his stick which he was holding in his hand with intentions to beat that figure for intruding in the compound premises at that late hours of the night. And the holy man catching hold of the watchman and taking him along with him inside the house when the doors were all closed. And the old man said that the holy man sat beside me on my bed and caressed me. And that holy man was none other but God. And right enough, Baba was physically present a few houses away, then in Karachi, with his then resident Mandli. In another instance, one day Baba said to us few who were present that after a few months on a particular day, he would do something which was spiritually important, and when he had finished, he will ask each one present to bow down to Baba. Since I was not to be one of those, and I would be far away physically from Baba at Karachi, I made a very pressing, loving request to the grand old man, Dr. Ghani, for reasons best known to him. Ever since the partition of the subcontinent, he has visited once. And that was all of a sudden in August 1952, when Baba returned to Madras from the States after his first auto accident. The orders came all of a sudden one day that only I have to be present at the airport to receive Baba and the ladies Mandali, few of them who were then traveling with Baba, including Meramai, the beloved of our beloved. That time I have noticed very, very clearly that Baba did not put his foot on the ground. From the plane, we put him on the wheelchair, and from the wheelchair onto his bed on the first floor of the Karachi airport. Whole night I was ordered by him to keep a watch on him. The next day he said that he must go, and it was impossible because of certain strikes due to which his plane was diverted via Karachi, which would otherwise not have been the case. It was one of the most critical periods in my life. It would be irrelevant at this stage to narrate those. But the very fact that at such critical period, Baba most unexpectedly met me is in itself a surprise, a miracle, an answer to silent, deep, ardent love. Why I narrate this incident is for quite a different purpose. Baba repeatedly said that there is something very, very important, and that by next day morning, early morning, he must be in Madras. And I repeat, it was next to impossible. And those of you who know how Baba acted, it was next to impossible because flights were cancelled. There was strike all round. But Baba did reach Bombay airport that night and immediately drove straight to Madras. And now let us see what happens there. You must have heard of Subhadra, the wife of well-known Baba lover Madhusudan, who sings bhajans of Baba. Subhadra was a virgin at that time and a very bad case of tuberculosis, who was given up as a hopeless case by the hospital and medical authorities at Pune. Stealthily, in the dead of night, she left her home. She could not only hardly walk, but could hardly get up, but she managed to get herself carried in a tonga, and from there on a bus to Ahmednagar. When she reached Ahmednagar, Adi Irani, the secretary of Baba, refused to render any assistance under the existing orders because Baba was in seclusion. Yet she managed and reached alone Madras and rang the bell. Baba had her in, and she said that she has come to see her God before she drops her body. And Baba replied, saying, "Who says that she will die?" And as we all know, she lives to this day. She's married and has children and family. This is an instance to quote the unique love of a Baba lover for Baba. And now I feel it is my bounden duty to give you all a few cautions based on my experience with Baba. The first caution is that never disobey Baba. You have heard me tell you very astounding utterances of Baba in regard to me and the role, according to him, that I will have to play at the time of the holy hour with him. She got for her love for her God. And now, dear brothers and sisters in Baba, I honestly feel that I will not have done my duty if I did not give you frankly some of the cautions that are most essential. And the role, according to him, that I will have to play at the time of the holy hour with him. At the same time, let it be frankly known to you all that the day when Baba said, Minoo, you are spiritually perfect from top to toe, but your eyes are very bad. And he gave a clean warning, beware of a lustful act. So, purity and purity of love is the first thing with Baba that counts the most. The second is do not disobey Baba. I frankly admit that with all the love for him, with whatever little understanding I have by his grace of love, I am one of those very few foolish ones, stupid ones of Baba who has unwittingly, unintentionally disobeyed him more than once. And the result is the sufferances through which I have passed, of which many of you are aware. I was told distinctly by Baba and referred to as the future Inspector General of Police. And I laughed out Baba and said, there is no Inspector General of Police where I come from. And Baba said, it may be. And soon after my return, the province of Sindh, from where to which I belong to, was separated from Bombay Presidency those times, and the Deputy Inspector of General became the Inspector General of Police. The next point is, please never insist on Baba insist on Baba not to give you any order of your choice. Let Baba give orders not because of ego or anything of the kind. I'm sure you would love to hear a few more utterances of Baba in regard to me, because these utterances connect me with him in regard to the role that will be played during his glorious manifestation. On 18th of February 1933 at Nasik, Baba said to me, Minoo, you will not die now. You have to do as yet a lot with me. You will hear me talk, do many things for me, move with me all over, and finally rise with me. And now, in order to see that I am prepared for such a stupendous task when the holy hour comes, years before, almost from the very beginning of my meeting him physically, he gave me 3 distinct orders. The first was that under no circumstances I had to have any sexual relation with any girl or woman. Second, not to touch even a drop of liquor, even at the cost of my life. And third and the last, not to smoke at any cost. And believe me, every time that I met him, thereafter, the moment he saw me, he asked the 3 questions. Minoo, any relationship with woman? No. Any drop of liquor taken in? No. Any smoke? No. This may sound very trivial or funny, but this was indeed an act of his immense compassion and love for me, because he wanted me anyhow to see that I am ready for the stupendous task, I repeat. Now I suppose you all would like to know, one day Baba said to us few who were present, that after a few months on a particular day, he would do something which was spiritually important, and when he had finished, he will ask each one present to bow down to Baba. Since I was not to be one of those, and I would be far away physically from Baba at Karachi, I made a very pressing, loving request to the grand old man, Dr. Ghani, and he promised that he will bow down his head on my behalf after having once bowed down his own head. People present were surprised and taken aback for a while when they found to their amazement that Dr. Ghani, who was always almost the last, was that day almost first. And they were doubly surprised when they found to their amazement Dr. Ghani come again up to Baba and bow down his head. But the moment Dr. Ghani lifted up his head, Baba said, no, 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 put head properly. Again, poor Dr. Ghani put his head. And again Baba told him, no, 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 no. Again this went on for a number of times until Dr. Ghani was totally surprised and fed up. And he said, Baba, what is all this nonsense? So Baba said, what nonsense? You have given a promise to somebody and fulfilled that promise 100%. So Dr. Ghani said, but I have done so. He said, no, you have not put head as the one whom you have promised puts his head. So the Dr. Ghani said, Baba, how the hell am I to know? How does that particular man put his head? He said, then why the hell did you give him promise? Now this little story shows how what one does with love and silently is touched so deeply to Baba. And yet one more incident I will relate during the most memorable days of the new life of Baba, which Baba started in 1949. One more incident I will relate during the most memorable days of the new life of Baba, which Baba started in 1949. As many of you must be knowing, I was one of the Yashwalas. In the new life, there were Yashwalas, No-Walas, and Arrangement-Walas. To make the long story very short, those were the days prior to the commencement of the new life, when we had not to laugh, when we had not to cry, when we had not to show any emotion, when we had not to bow down to Baba, when we had not to ask him any question, and so on and so forth. And although I was one of the Yashwalas, I was the only one who was singled out by Baba as permitted to continue to remain in old life as Yashwalas. So, still being human, I felt that I would be physically absent in the new life. Of course, this was my weakness, because Baba made it very clear that that was going to make no difference whatsoever. And I determined quietly within myself, for example, that I will give my shirt to Gustadji. I will give my pant to Pendu. I will give my slippers to Eret. And so on. And right enough, within seconds, Baba said, wait, before you all leave for tea. Mind you, you will not give your pant to anybody. You will not give your shirt to anybody. You will not give your this to anybody. You will not give your that to anybody. And I was very carefully marking, and I was immensely joyed when I found that Baba had missed one item. I kept quiet. That was the last day when the sun set at Mehrabad for the old life of Baba. From next day he was to go on his new life, and we all had to depart. Hardly any one of us slept that night at Mehrabad. And dead of night, I quietly went to Dr. Ghani, whose room was next to mine, in the main mandali of Baba, and made a request to him. And he said, hello, Minoo, don't you know Baba said not to give anything to anybody? And I said, look, Dr. Ghani, you know that it is you whom Baba asked when I had finished reading and rereading discourses, that it is you whom Baba asked when I had finished reading and rereading discourses to listen to me, to answer a few questions that cropped up in my mind, and you know everything about me in relation to Baba. Therefore I assure you that Baba has not spoken a word about not passing his stick to anybody. And I with love request you, particularly when your stick is of no value, it's not a good stick, to please carry this stick. And he willingly carried. In new life, as you all must have also read and known, after some time Dr. Ghani was sent back, and that was from Dehradun. And it was Dr. Ghani who told me, when still in New Life and Baba had sent me with orders for 1 month to remain at a secluded spot, and I had selected a place near Pune and to lead life that the Yashwalas companions were living with Baba on that hill all alone by myself. At that time Dr. Ghani called me one day and told me that, Minoo, you will love to hear me tell you something about your wonderful stick. He said, Baba surprisingly said that, come on, today we will go to the station to see Dr. Ghani off. This was unusual in the New Life phase. When the train started, leaving the platform, according to Dr. Ghani to me, Baba suddenly snatched the cane away from his hands and used that cane from then onwards until the end of New Life, the Manonash period, at Madras. Now this little story also shows that anything done with love, because the stick was given with love, with full of my tears that night, memorable night at Merabad, that at least you, my stick will be with Baba if I would not be, and you will please remember me as I will be remembering Baba all the time. So any act of love does not escape him. And yet more, one incident, there was a Muslim young man who suffered very heavily, badly, with tuberculosis at Karachi, who luckily could see Baba just once at Guru Prasad in Pune, and thereafter soon died. A lot of correspondence to and fro went between Baba and me, and I was amazed. A lot of correspondence to and fro went between Baba and me, and I was amazed to receive the nature of the replies. To put it very bluntly, it appeared that Baba didn't care to know anything about that man. And I wondered that with all the love that this man clearly depicted in Baba, how is it that Baba was acting in this fashion? Well, he died. He died. That young man died. We humans who pretend to love so much, who pretend to show so much of devotion, soon forgot all about that man. But Baba, after years, one afternoon at Guru Prasad, all of a sudden gestured about this man and said that today Baba had done his work. Now see how true love, silent love of an individual does not escape the infinite compassion of the infinite one. I do hope that these instances, as related by me, will go home to the listeners, that it is love and love alone which is the master key, and Baba told me once about love, that it is love that counts the most, and love must be spontaneous. And now you would also be happy to know that quite a few things Baba has given me in his lifetime. And one of those that I cherish the most is his own alphabet board, which he presented to me with all love. A very deep hug and kisses on the memorable day of March 21st, 1933 at alphabet board, which he presented to me with all love. A very deep hug and kisses on the memorable day of March 21st, 1933 at Nasik, the day when his brother Behram got married. This he did because all of a sudden there was a shout on the mic for me that Baba wanted me immediately. And when I went to him, he said, "Minoo, today it is the wedding day of my brother. Speak for the occasion." I was a young lad under training as a sub-inspector of police at the police training school at Nasik, and off I went on the mic, starting with Meher Baba and ended with Meher Baba, and Baba was so pleased that he presented me this alphabet board. This is the board which, according to him, he took with him on his first tour of the West. Suddenly I feel I must relate to you two experiences with Baba that I experienced in February 1947 at Madras. In all these years with Baba, I have not witnessed that much of publicity throughout Madras prior to Baba's coming into Madras, that particular visit. Adi Dubash and I from Karachi had attended, and it was for the first time that Adi Dubash had met Baba there at Madras. So initially I was asked to stay with Adi Dubash far away at the World Spiritual Center at Adyar of the world famed Theosophical Institution. But daily we went there early in the morning and came back late in the night. After 3 days, Baba permitted us to come along bag and baggage, and we were happy but natural, and we rushed. As we were about to rush in a taxi, one Hindu clerk, a young man by name Anandji, showed very deep desire to accompany us a few miles away where Baba was, more particularly when he knew that Baba was to leave Madras the next early in the morning. The taxi man, with all our pleadings, point blank refused to take the man and his cycle. The man determined to cycle over 12 miles so late in the night, but before he could ride his cycle a few yards, both his tires got punctured. He was in a predicament, and so were AD and I. Well, at last pity came to the taxi man and the man was taken. When we reached, it was very late in the night. Baba and the Mandali had gone upstairs to retire. So we told the man there was no other way but to take his chance sometime in future when Baba would visit Madras. But the man was adamant with love, and said that whole night he would sit out on the road on his both the wheels punctured cycle, and at least early in the morning when Baba would pass, he would be able to see Baba from distance. This was nothing short of love. Love that is needed for the Master. And just see what was the result. When we went up, we heard Baba talking to the Mandali that has everybody had darshan, that everybody is gone, and they said yes. I immediately intervened and said, no, Baba, there is one. And Baba showed all surprise and disgust and what not in his usual fashion, outwardly. But when he knew that there was somebody with love waiting, immediately Baba gave me orders to bring that man up. And you can imagine the happiness of this man Anandji. And he saw Baba, he cried, Baba petted him, loved him, blessed him, and he went. But just wait. Who was this Anandji? He was a mere clerk in the spiritual headquarters of the theosophical center of the world. Just an ordinary clerk. While clerk in the spiritual headquarters of the theosophical center of the world. Just an ordinary clerk. While all the high-ups and the intellectuals and what not did not feel a desire to see Baba, this poor man through love determined to see, and he succeeded. This is an instance of compassionate father's love for his lovers. And one more remarkable experience of Madras. Baba had distinctly passed orders to his lady host. I think her name was Mrs. Janaki, that any person of importance, social or otherwise, immediately when he or she passes taking Baba's darshan, should be introduced. And this lady prevailed upon the mayor of Madras to anyhow come and have darshan of Baba. And at last, after days of pleading, the mayor of Madras agreed on one condition, that he will not be introduced. In her keenness, with love, to see that such a high man as the mayor of Madras has darshan of Baba, among so many others, she forgot the order of Baba. And now, when the row of darshanis passed by Baba, and when this man, who was exceptionally tall, and his name consumed almost all the letters of the English alphabet, so long, when he passed by and he was not introduced, when he went and he was at the end of the room, Baba clapped and stopped. This man understood and he tried to rush out, and Baba pointed out, stop that man. And he was brought before Baba. And Baba asked the host why she disobeyed the order, and then she remembered, and Baba said, it's all right, since everything was done with love, it's all forgotten and forgiven. But here the story doesn't end. You see, this man kept mum, spoke not a word. And Baba immediately told somebody next to him that tomorrow when Baba goes to visits at some houses and places, this man will be the first. So it was written. Then Baba again on his own pointed out very clearly and distinctly that, mind you, I'm not going to go to his house. I'm going to go to his picture house. Now mind you, Kharas, Karachi, Pakistan, the mosque that you see before, right in front of you, is the mosque who was taken to Meher Baba at Satara in 1947. Baba kept him for 3 days and did his work and said all that we read in the Wayfarer's book of Dr. Donkin. Do I repeat? Do I repeat again? Go ahead. That's all. According to Baba, is of a mediocre, of a Jamali type, and he was very responsive and helped a lot. I took him from Karachi to Satara via Hyderabad and Ahmedabad and Bombay and Pune, and Baba was very much pleased with his work, and when the work was over, he was brought back and left over here, and ever since he is in this vicinity. And today, by the grace of love of Baba, we are fortunate that we have been able to find, and that he is in a mood in which he is permitting everything to be done. To me, he looks very much changed today, unlike ever before. That is, he's more clean, he's more helpful, he's in a white kafni instead of a dark kafni that he always wears. And you see him, if you watch him closely, doing his own actions and murmuring something that we do not follow. Well, we are pleased that at least one of the must that Baba contacted in his lifetime has been seen by us today. And once again I repeat that it is amazing and a miraculous incident that so soon we found him, that he is responsive, and all this is that which has been possible simply by the love grace of our beloved Meher Baba. Jai Baba.
Wait a minute.
From the very beginning it was a very difficult task. First of all, one had to know as to who really must is, and because these musts are those who appear exactly as mad people. But with little few hints that I had then got from Papa Jasawala, father of our brother Erad Jasawala, I could understand something, and wondered when I took 3 of them before Baba whether they were really must. And Baba said that one of them was stark mad, while the other 2 were, and this is one of the 2. Now from Karachi when we started, we had to change them at Hyderabad, the first place, with some difficulty. But from Hyderabad to Mawad, there was such a confusion because these mutts started urinating, these mutts started passing the stools, and the whole compartment was stinking, and the only way left out to me was that to write outside, madmen inside, enter at your risk. Could understand something, and wondered when I took 3 of them before Baba whether they were really must. And Baba said that one of them was stark mad, while the other 2 were, and this is one of the 2. Now from Karachi when we started, we had to change them at Hyderabad, the first place, with some difficulty. But from Hyderabad to Mawad, there was such a confusion because these mutts started urinating, these mutts started passing the stools, and the whole compartment was stinking, and the only way left out to me was that to write outside, madmen inside, enter at your risk. And when we went to Marwar, the king of Mawad, Rajputana, had died suddenly, and everybody was not in the mood even to give us a glass of water. The trains were terrific late, and we reached Ahmedabad over 14 hours late, and hence we reached Bombay late too. At Bombay we were CID people were there, and they wondered, but we managed. And in the Deccan Queen we made them sit down. Deccan Queen is one of the most aristocrat trains, you know. I mean, train where big people go, and it was very much terrifying to me that lest they should start urinating and passing stool, what would happen? But they behaved wonderfully well, so surprisingly, that when we reached Pune, we were happy. But at Pune, for days together, the trains had stopped, there was a strike, and we didn't know how we would go to Satara. And there also is a very funny story that with great difficulty I could manage a special carriage, and in that carriage I just gave a cock and bull story saying that I have my wife and I've just married, and I would be grateful that I would recompensate them, and that's how the guard and the men in charge allowed us. And when we reached Satara early in the morning, it was Baidul who came to receive us. And I told Baidul, well, here is the charge. It was the deadline of Baba that if I had missed that morning, I had missed the chance. But by Baba's grace and grace alone, I repeat, that I succeeded and handed over the must to Baidul. One of the must, soon after entering the house, disappeared. And they had to search all round Satara, and with difficulty caught. And it was not this one. He was, as I said, very genial, perfect Jamali type, and helped a lot. And Baba was infinitely pleased with him. Even today, believe me, I'm surprised that how, before this crowd, he is sitting quiet and permitting. And one wonders whether he remembers that in his lifetime he was taken before the mighty Meher Baba at Satara, and that was in 1947. Thank you. Jai Baba. One wonders whether he remembers that in his lifetime he was taken before the mighty Meher Baba at Satara, and that was in 1947. Thank you. Jai Baba. Appearance, there is hardly any difference than what he was so many years back, except that today I find that he is appearing to me very, very normal. In all these years, because of Baba's orders, I never came back, never contacted. And even now today I wonder if I'm erring in doing what is being done. But I don't think, because for the sake of posterity, for the sake of the splendid work that these Lug brothers are doing, Irwin and Edward, I felt that it was my duty to do my best and see how the Master himself is doing this duty so and responding so much. And I feel that he feels that Mama is asking him to allow, because all that is being done by Luck Brothers is through sheer, absolute 100% love for Baba and for the good wishes and good intentions for the posterity. I must here confess that that definitely the Luck Brothers are blessed ones of beloved Baba. Thank you, Jai Baba. As I said precisely, this must was appreciated by Baba much more than the rest. And Baba, I was present, shaved him, his head and his beard, bathed him. Of course, food was given to him. And what actually Baba did with him for his inner working is, as you all know, is something that was not permitted to be seen by us. At that time, he asked us, a few of the resident Mandali and us, to remain out of the room on duty with our faces the other side, in the other direction. So we didn't know what was the internal spiritual working being done by Baba with him. But Baba did declare him to be a must of a very good order, and further, as I said, we all know what Dr. Donkin has written about him in his book, The Wayfarer. Jai Baba. I think that should be all. I'm sure I have said it very clearly some time before that this must, ever since, has been only in this locality of Karachi, and that locality is around the city railway station and the business center, one of the business centers of Karachi. And I repeat that it is very, very difficult to locate him normally, and extremely wonderful. I repeat so often because it is really amazing how he cooperates, how he just sits quiet and allows and permits everything to be done what is being done, namely telecasted. Through our human weaknesses, we have missed many an opportunity in life. And now that Baba has dropped his body, it is but natural that we feel and wish the clock could be set back. But as we all know, in life, clock can never be set back. But here we are dealing not with an ordinary man, a God man. So whether he has dropped his physical body or not is immaterial. Let us continue to love and obey him and hold on fast to his daman, for which he has repeatedly warned us. Please well remember that in his no advent in the past, he has made utterances anywhere near to the utterances that he has made about himself. To put it very straight and briefly, it is in his this advent that he has made it abundantly clear with repeated assertions that I am the ancient one, the highest of the high. It is in this advent that he has said not only what he has said in the past advent, that I am God, as have many mazhubs said, Many God-realized souls have said, but he has said, I am God of gods. I repeat with all love and emphasis at my command, brothers and sisters, that please well remember and bear in mind that fact. And it is this man, the greatest, the highest of the high, the ancient one, who on the eve of the dropping of his body has said that the dropping of his body is the great event, and that the only thing that we should do is to constantly remember his last message to us, in which he has said, I am the divine beloved, worthy of being loved, because I am love. He who loves me because of this will be blessed with unlimited sight and will see me as I am.